This is the news in brief from the United Nations. This year's Northern Hemisphere summer has been the hottest on record, a sign that our climate is imploding faster than we can cope, UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres said on Wednesday. Mr. Guterres recalled that scientists had long warned about what our fossil fuel addiction will unleash, and said that surging temperatures demand a surge in action from global leaders. The UN chief's comments coincided with an alert from the UN World Meteorological Organization (WMO) about heatwaves exacerbating pollution and degrading air quality. Heatwave-triggered wildfires, which brought death and devastation to Canada, Hawaii, and the Mediterranean region, also caused dangerous air quality levels for millions of people and sent plumes of smoke across the Atlantic and into the Arctic, WMO said. The UN agency warned that climate change was increasing the frequency and intensity of heatwaves, a worrying trend for human health, ecosystems, and crops. More than 5 million people have fled their homes amid ongoing fighting in Sudan between the country's military, the Sudanese Armed Forces, SAF, and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, since the 15th of April. According to the UN Migration Agency, IOM, more than 4 million people, or some 814,000 families, have been internally displaced. River Nile, South Darfur, and North Darfur states have the highest proportion of uprooted people. IOM's displacement tracking matrix indicates that the vast majority of those fleeing, almost 70%, have come from Khartoum state, an epicenter of the fighting. Another 1.1 million people have fled to neighboring countries. Over 464,000 have sought safety in Chad, while some 285,000 crossed the border to Egypt. The human rights situation in Sudan, aggravated by the ongoing displacement and soaring humanitarian needs, will feature prominently on the agenda of the UN Human Rights Council's 54th session, which opens in Geneva next Monday. Members of the African diaspora continue to suffer from barriers to their participation in public life in many countries, the UN Human Rights Office OHCHR has said in a new report. The publication details how systemic racism, marginalization and exclusion, rooted in the legacies of slavery and colonialism, continue to have an all-pervasive effect. UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk urged countries to take targeted action to change the status quo. He advocated for evidence-based legal, policy and institutional approaches to dismantle systemic racism, including in law enforcement. The UN rights chief also warned that deaths of people of African descent continue to be reported during or after interactions with law enforcement, with insufficient progress towards accountability and redress. OHCHR said that the death of 24-year-old Adama Traoré in police custody in France in 2016 was one of 7 illustrative cases in the report, demonstrating the challenges that families of African descent face in seeking truth and justice promptly. Dominika, Tomaszewska-Mortimer, UN News.